Uh, I greet my viewers with this message of from such a liberal like me, Mr. Magnojan. Actually, well, as a bachelor of psychology from California Coast University, actually with 3.45 GPA average, I actually developed an active form of psychotherapy, which I believe is likely to treat such diseases like psychopathy, schizophrenia, and depression. I believe that behavior modification techniques are applicable to my guided therapy. I also believe that such a disease like homopathy and psychopathy are best to be treated not with pills like psychiatrists do, but with psychotherapy, because talk therapy is capable of eliminating false associations as a primary method of my guided and active psychotherapy, which includes brainwashing. Actually, brainwashing is cornerstone of my very active and direct psychotherapy, which allows psychotherapists to actually to eliminate false associations, which constitute the basis of disease psychopathy. Because psychopathy and homopathy are mental diseases, and the mechanism of those diseases like psychopathy is based on false associations. Occasionally again treat false associations because they exist in the human mind. Human mind is an idealistic notion. It doesn't actually not part of a brain, because human mind exists separately from a brain, and it exists as a idealistic notion, as not a materialistic notion. You cannot get it with as many pills as how hard you try, because homopathy is a specific form of psychopathy. It's a mental disease that based on pathological hatred and loathing of other people based on their different ethnicity, national origin, sex, race, marital orientation, and creed. And I believe that that people suffering with homopathy and psychopathy, psychopathy is a mental disease, is based on propensity of individuals to follow the path of their demented desires. And I believe that active psychotherapy that includes brainwashing is quite applicable to eliminate false associations in the minds of those mentally ill psychopaths. As I encountered mentally ill people, I might actually say that sometimes this brainwashing, eliminating false associations, is highly effective in treating psychopaths. For instance, one lady from which I worked, she used to talk delirium about Jews, like her pathological antipathy against Jews. Her name is Ani Midrani. She was rather fat and young Armenian woman, and she used to call me Jew, and told me that Jew wouldn't get his piece of pie, which was a clinical evidence of homopathy. As it reflected her pathological bias against people of Jewish ethnicity. And also when I actually cracked down on her and I told her to stop making anti-Semitic statements, and when she used it worked, and she her delirium ceased, and she didn't make any more anti-Semitic statements and or homopathic statements or hate mongering. The same happened to Russian President Vladimir Putin, who actually made a hate-mongering statement during his symposium in 1997 in Brussels, which I watched on CNN, as he told directly to the public on CNN that West European investment would occur in Russia only through his dead body. And I heard it on C-SPAN in 1997 in Brussels, during Brussels symposium. And actually, but I criticized his statement, and since then, Putin making way less homopathic statements. So that psychotherapy works and brainwashing works at eliminating false associations in the minds of homopaths, will actually treat with heinous mental disease called homopathy. And I believe that my active psychotherapy that includes brainwashing and elimination of false associations will help treat any cases of homopathy and psychopathy. I also believe that let me return to a study of single cases of mental disease, like being with Annie Midrani. I researched her case as she started talking delirium to me, psychopathic delirium to me, and in which she actually was talking about her Christian religious views, in which she wanted people to suffer, and the only way we would be happy, she told it, would be after their death, when they resurrect. And she wanted also homosexuals to suffer for their sins. As she said, homosexuals were guilty of committing a sin, so they should suffer. And I believe it was hate mongering on her part, and told her that homosexual people are born to be happy. People don't want to suffer, and homosexuals are not guilty of anything, even according to Christian dogma. They might be sinners according to Christian dogma, but there is nowhere Bible says that homosexuals should suffer for their sins. It says that people thou shall not kill. It says Bible, we shall break 10 commandments, but none of them includes allegation against homosexuals or lesbians to education. I also believe that eliminating false associations will help treating homopathy and psychopathy, which pathological loving of people of other sex, creed, marital status, ethnicity, national origin, and sexual orientation. I also believe that such a mental disease like depression is being treated by cognitive behavioral methodology, behavior modification based on operant conditioning techniques of challenging with positive reinforcement. But challenging depressed individuals with positive reinforcement will help actually to treat this depression, as it's based on my theory of intellectual, emotional, and physical selves. Human beings have 3 selves: intellectual self, emotional self, and physical self. Intellectual self helps control emotional self, and expansion of intellectual self will actually expand emotional self. And I believe that many mental diseases may be treated with behavior modification techniques. I also urge public, to help me out as I am unemployed, and actually I'm employed, and believe that I was out at work, and I asked my friends and public to help me as a psychologist, a bachelor degree of psychology, and to continue my education, because I was, to make some charitable donation to me and to buy my products from Amazon.com. We can find my products under the name Nurijanian, Nouridjanin, or help me find work, because I've been looking for work in vain, and I can continue my education to become a licensed psychologist and psychotherapist, because I've been persecuted at work over my ethnic origin or something. I even received terrorist threats from one of the probation department guys who threatened to blow up my car. He pointed his forefinger at my vehicle with Mr. Miles, one of the probation guards of Los Angeles, and he said he would blow it up, and he would also said that blow up the probation department facility in Selma, as the way his supervisors treated him. On the seminar he told me once at God, and when I reported his terrorist threats against the probation department juvenile detention facility, the supervisor fired me from work, Mr. Fugaro. And I believe that guy conspired with suspected drug dealer, Mr. William Abrego, to fire me from work, and I prevent Mr. Abrego to sell cocaine at the workplace at the Bubble Key Center with the probation department of Los Angeles County in Selma. And actually he conspired with Mr. Figueroa, and he shouted at me from his phone of Mr. William Abrego to keep quiet, and then when I asked when I refused to take cocaine from Mr. William Abrek, who offered me twice on occasion. He told me I'm in trouble and stuff like that. When I saw about 200 grams, a heap of white powder on a white plate in front of him in the key center, and he had a white Russian-made kind of papyrosa-style straw in his right hand, and then got Mr. Minas Jekan, who actually once issued me a terrorist threat to shoot me. He also dunked his finger into the white powder, put his finger with powder into his mouth.